guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do a pretty entertaining email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy who truly goes in his story, his journey, from Mr. Nice Guy to no more Mr. Nice Guy. Our guy here is presently 28 years old. He shares his story from a few years ago when he was in his mid-20s, when he got together with this gal. He is in the military reserves in his country because he's outside the U.S., and I don't know what country it is. It seems that the majority of people have to be in the reserves at least for a couple of years, get military training, and he was an officer, commander. And essentially, he started getting involved with a gal who was served under him. Terrible idea, because, get involved with people you work with. And because this guy was clueless, made every nice guy blue pill mistake in the book, and she just completely jerked him around, BS and all that. But eventually he had enough, and believe me, he deals with all these things that are ridiculous, and learns his lesson. Finds my material, and a year later, he's completely born again. So no more Mr. Nice Guy, and he doesn't take crap from anybody, and he gives examples of some of the girls who try to pull crap with him. He's doing really well. And it'll be a very good one to go over here, guys, to show you a couple things. One, that you could be the Mr. Nice Guy blue pill type who does all these things and just make you want to do face palms and smack him, but eventually learn. Believe me, I made a lot of dumb mistakes when I was younger, and I learned the hard way, and I never made those mistakes again. I know a lot of guys similar. You can do it. You can turn it around, but you got to sometimes have to hit rock bottom to do it. And also, guys, the crap that women pull, you can't tolerate that nonsense. And this story, guys, is a little long for one video, so it's going to be split up into two parts. I'll publish the one right now, and when we're finished here, 2 hours, and do part two. And I think you definitely will appreciate it. And like I said, warning sign, there's going to be a lot of smacks in the beginning because this guy was quite clueless, but he does redeem himself in part two. That I can vouch for. And yeah, guys, if you haven't done it already, come check out my men's community over on Patreon or Locals. You can come over and check it out as a free member or become a paying subscriber or paying supporter and get access to 2 to 3 exclusive videos per week, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as well as all my content from all 3 channels, commercial free, in advance before they come out on YouTube. And of course, chat with the other guys and me with no censorship whatsoever. And I'll post that link in the top of the description as well as the top of the comment section. Okay. He says, Dear SSM, first off, let me thank you. I've been watching your channel for over 2 years now, and I think I deserve every smack you're about to give me. Well, man, my arms are warmed up. I am a reserve military officer who believed that if I loved a woman enough, treated her like a queen, and did everything for her, she'd eventually love me back. Instead, I learned one of the hardest lessons of my life. Well, brother, so many guys just like you learned the hard way. And I learned the hard way through that thinking back when I was younger. Because right there, you treat them like a queen, they'll treat you like a freaking peasant. Before discovering your channel, I was completely blinded by love. Despite all the red flags and everything she did wrong, I still saw her as the most beautiful woman in the world and believed she was the only one I was going to marry. Smack! And where did you get that thinking from? Probably too many freaking rom-coms. Or maybe, I don't know. Terrible idea. After spending countless hours watching your videos, I finally began to see the relationship for what it really was. I realized she simply wasn't the right woman for me, and I learned one of the most important lessons of my life. Never let love blind you to reality. Your content didn't just help me get over my breakup, it completely changed the way I approach dating and relationships. Good. That is my goal. That is one of the many goals I have for this channel, and also to help men become the best they can be. So good for you. You had to suffer. Think about it. You had to go through all this suffering and humiliation to finally say, what the F am I doing wrong? Seek guidance. Found me on YouTube and started watching the videos and hearing guys do the same crap that you did and learned how it didn't work out. So you have to hit rock bottom, and then you start over and rebuild yourself. He says, my name is Aaron. I'm 28 years old today, but at the time of the story, I was 26. I come from a very warm, cohesive, and traditional family. Even back then, I was a man heavily focused on my purpose and financial future, having saved and invested my money wisely since I was 15 years old. Dude, that's great. At the time, I just started my studies in accounting. Well, that's why you're saving your money at 15 years old. With the long-term goal of eventually joining and elevating my family's successful accounting business, which has been operating for 3 generations. I was also just beginning to dive deeper into the crypto and investment world. all while serving as an active reserve military officer and commander leading about 120 soldiers. Wow, dude, that's a big deal. The story about to read spans roughly a year. I wrote the first draft right after a breakup, and over the past year or two, I kept updating it. Every time I remembered another red flag and realized how blind I was, I added to the document. Looking at it now, it's crazy to see my own transformation. Dude, it's probably therapeutic for you to write this stuff down. I'm at multiple fronts. 2 years ago, I met one of my soldiers, Mariah, a 21-year-old reservist. I was one of her commanders, and from the moment we met, I was hooked. Smack! She's serving under you. It's like having a job and dating an employee. It's a terrible idea. It's bad enough to date a coworker, but date an employee? Come on here. You don't do that. She comes from a well-off family, is the youngest child with 2 older married brothers, and is treated like an absolute princess. We had great chemistry, and every shift seemed to fly by. Yeah, you must be in a country where they require everyone to serve a few years, at least learn the training and be in the reserves, because a princess would not be in the freaking military unless it was a law. But if she was treated like a princess in the family, then she expects guys to treat her that way. I want to clarify a very important point. I only pursued her knowing that my role as her commander was strictly temporary. Our reserve duty together was only for 3 months, and I knew I wouldn't be stationed at the same time or same base with her afterwards. Because I respect military rules and professional boundaries, I made clear that we would only officially go out after we were fully discharged from our service. Okay, that's certainly better, but I still wouldn't have done that anyway. Because you just never know what could happen down the road. What kind of accusations can be made with that officer and stuff like that, regardless. I wouldn't have done that. For 3 months, I chased this girl and asked her out 4 different times. She rejected me every single time. Smack! You ask one time. One time, guys. And if they turn you down, for whatever reason, then that's it. Now, if she truly had a boyfriend, okay, that's different. But if she was single and she rejected you, don't waste your time. You're already giving her power by repeatedly chasing after. You tell me there's any other good-looking girls you know? The first time was during a team-building event. We were all sitting around the dining table, and Mariah proudly mentioned that she hadn't received the COVID-19 vaccination and hadn't given into the pressure. That impressed me. I seized the opportunity and boldly asked her out in front of all the soldiers. You asked her out in front of all of them? Smack! After she had rejected you before? Or is this the first time? So when are we going out once this reserve duty is over? The entire table went silent. She blushed and quietly told me to stop. For the next week, everyone on base talked about it. Well, that was dumb. Why would you do that? Were you that confident because you were the commanding officer of that group that you're going to get your way? That you crashed and burned right in front of everybody. That's not going to help with the respect of your men. I shared the story with one of my soldiers. Later during a break, he joined Mariah and me and jokingly commented that we looked like a great couple and should go out. I agreed, saying she owed me a date. She asked me to stop again. Dude, the signs are all there, and as I know how this story goes, it would have been good if you listened to the signs. A month passed by, and I asked her a 3rd time. Smack! No self-respecting guy does that. Telling her it was her last chance. Once again, she blushed and told me to stop. Brother. Again, you watch too many freaking movies where the guy just pursues and pursues and pursues, and that's just how it's done. Believe me, if she liked you, she would have gone out with you the first time. Finally, 2 weeks later, after our last reserve shift together, I drove her home and told her I liked her. Really? Like she couldn't figure that out already. To my surprise, she finally said yes. We began dating only when we were formally discharged from the reserve service. I think she didn't go out with you because you're finally discharged. I think that during the whole time, she didn't reject you, I think, just because you were still serving. Remember, guys, if a woman really likes a guy, see him as a prize, she's going to make time for him. She would have dated you right then and there during the service, even if she wasn't supposed to. But no. But once she's out, okay, whatever. Let's see what this desperate guy can give me. On our first date, I took her to a restaurant and then to a romantic lake. Smack! Should have been 1 drink. I gave her a single rose and tried to kiss her, but she declined, saying it was too soon. Smack! A rose? Really, you know now. If she likes you, she would have kissed you back. You're trying too hard. She knows this. She knows she can get anything she wants out of you. Instead of acting like a man and letting her go, I made a massive nice guy mistake. I confessed just how much I'd done for her in the Army behind the scenes, including standing up for her when my commanding officer wanted to discharge her due to her behavior. She had a huge smile on her face and told me she was searching for a nice guy who would do things like that for her. From that moment on, I made it my mission to be the nicest guy possible. Smack. No, you mean she's looking for a servant, a guy she can use. She had your number, dude, and she's going to milk it for everything it's worth. You ask them out one time, guys, they say no, okay. You don't act like a jerk about it, and you move on. And if they chase and pursue later on down the road, then you just handle it the way you want to handle it. But you never pursue them again after asking them out. And if you do ask them out and they agree, first date, keep it inexpensive. Don't fancy restaurants and a goddamn rose. On our second date, we went to a movie at another lake. This time she kissed me. Later admitting her best friend, Lena, had convinced her to do it. After a month on the 10th date, I surprised her with a bouquet of 10 red roses. Smack! On the 10th date? I'm guessing you probably haven't gotten any nookie at this point. Man. When I suggested we start visiting each other's houses, she surprised me by saying that we're already a couple. Oh, yeah? I was her first real boyfriend and her first S-word partner, which made me put her in an even higher pedestal. Smack! Let's see how that goes. For the next 6 months, I treated her like a queen. Smack! Dude, my shoulder's getting sore. Stop being stupid. From flowers and gifts and love letters and to paying for everything and letting her make every single decision. Guys, I made every nice guy mistake in the book. Yeah, smack, smack, smack. I'm switching arms soon. Flowers, love letters, gifts. Who are you, Peppy the fucking Pew? Or whatever, that skunk in Looney Tunes? At least one of the girls were always running away from him. All the female skunks, and the one time Pepe Le Pew thought the cat was a skunk because the black cat got paint on its back. That's you. Mariah often told me that what she loved the most about me was how kind I was. Unfortunately, over time, she began taking my efforts for granted. No matter how much I did for her, it was never enough. See? Because she doesn't give a shit. And because she knows no matter what, you'll just keep trying harder. She believed this was simply how a man was supposed to treat his woman. But I bet you she's hot for the guys that treat her like shit. One night, we parked in a dark, empty parking lot and moved to the backseat of the car. During getting it on, Mariah suddenly froze and whispered that somebody was watching us. About 7 meters away, a man dressed entirely in black, wearing gloves and a mask, and carrying a flashlight stood up behind the bushes. The fuck? I reached for my gun, since I'm licensed to carry as a military officer, but Mariah begged me not to confront him because she feared he was armed. What are you, chopped liver? Obviously you're trained to fight. As the man started approaching the car, I unlocked the doors, jumped into the driver's seat, and sped away while he tried to get to us. After that, Mariah told me she saw me as the man who saved her life. Were you butt naked when you had to jump in the front of the seat of the car driving away down the road butt naked? Imagine if you got pulled over. That would have been funny. Well, 3 months into the relationship, I introduced Mariah to my parents. After she left, my father told me he didn't think she was the right one for me. You should have listened to your old man. He said that she was overly confident and warned that either I'd end up miserable or she'd eventually leave me. I laughed it off, and he told me that she was the woman. I laughed it off and told him that she was the woman I wanted to marry. He simply smiled and said, "We'll see." Yep. Father knows best. Should have listened to your old man. But not long afterwards, Mariah injured her knee and could not walk. Neither she nor her parents thought it was serious enough to go to the hospital, so I took her myself. The doctors believed she had a severe fracture and told us that waiting any longer could have caused permanent damage. Well, that's good you went to the doctor. From that point on, I drove her to every medical appointment and did everything I could do to take care of her. And yet, I'm sure nothing was reciprocated. I got no problem being good to your lady, if she's a lady, and she reciprocates and treats you like, the way you want to treat her. But when it's all her taking and you doing all the giving, that is a terrible place to be. Looking back, I was becoming more and more of a white knight than a boyfriend. During the last 2 months of our relationship, everything changed. Our daily calls stopped, she rarely wanted to go out, and she constantly complained that we were always doing the same things. Whenever I suggested going somewhere to go, she'd tell me I wasn't creative enough. Okay, your majesty, your fucking highness. Dude, what the fuck? Self-respect, brother. Although I could feel her pulling away, she kept insisting that everything was fine and that she still loved me. Yeah, I can feel the love. She even hinted that I was too much of a nice guy and wished I was more assertive, but I completely ignored what she was trying to tell me. Yeah, she says she wants a nice guy, she wants the princess treatment, but yet she wants you to be assertive. An assertive guy never would have never would have asked her out a second time. An assertive guy wouldn't put up with her bullshit. And yeah, you said you're getting laid, but I'm sure it isn't that great. 5 days before we broke up, we went out for what would become our final date. During dinner, Mariah told me that her best friend Lena had developed feelings for her manager at the supermarket where she had recently started working. She ended her relationship to be with him. I immediately said that she was a cheater, and Mariah agreed. So your girlfriend's BFF is a cheater. We all know when a girl's friends are cheaters, that usually means, not always, but usually that it will rub off on them. Later that night, Mariah invited me to join her family's vacation, but expected me to pay for both of us. That didn't sit well with me. I told her I had no problem paying my own way, but I wasn't paying for hers. She looked surprised and admitted I was right. Well, for once, you actually were being assertive. That's what she said she wanted. While we were together, Lena called. She had broken up with her boyfriend and was on her way to her manager's house. After the call, I told Mariah that in my opinion, once a relationship ends, it should stay over. She agreed. She then asked me to drive her to Lena's house to comfort her. To comfort Lena, who dumped her guy to cheat with her manager? Later that night, Mariah told me that Lena's manager had rejected her because he still loved his ex. According to Mariah, Lena immediately wanted to get back on the carousel. And how do you think that's going to impact your girlfriend? Well, looking back now, I believe this was the turning point. Turning point for what? Turning point that you woke up, or turning point that made things worse? Not like your relationship was that great. As soon as Lena became single again, Mariah slowly began pulling away from me. What'd I tell you? She took longer to answer my messages, rejected my invitations to go out, and became emotionally distant. And yet you stuck around. And yet you kept trying. And the more you tried, the more you turned her off. 2 days before our breakup, I texted Mariah asking where she wanted to go. Smack! You never do that. No leader does that. You say, we're going here. Or, hey, I found this new place. Let's go check that out. Not, what do you want to do, honey? She replied that she was tired of going to the same places. I answered that it doesn't matter where we go as long as we're together. Aw, smack. More of this fucking rom-com shit. But she completely disagreed. Frustrated, I stopped contacting her for 2 days. During the silence, I finally started asking myself whether I should stay in a relationship at this time. That's a very good question, amigo. About fucking time, but glad you did. And for the first time, I began making a list of all the red flags that I've been ignoring. During those 2 days of silence, I started asking myself a simple question. If we weren't already together, would I choose to date her today? No, you wouldn't. And at this point, he lists all the red flags he ignored, but I think we all know all the red flags, and I'm not going to read all of them and waste your time. We know them. But he's finally waking up realizing she's a giant pain in the ass. Well, on the day of the breakup, it had been 2 days since Mariah and I spoke. She didn't try to contact me, which made me feel unappreciated. So I decided that we needed to talk. I called her and asked her to meet up. She didn't answer at first, but got back to me a few hours later. I told her I wanted to come over and talk. She agreed, saying, yes, we needed to talk. And I'm going to wrap that up here, guys, because in part 2, he dumps her. And you're going to see how our guy here then obviously has to accept reality, licks his wounds, finds my channel, finds other channels, turn things around. We get to hear about her, how she's doing today. Not too well, hint, hint. And our guy here gets some examples of some of the bullcrap some girls try to pull with him, but our guy's learned and has redeemed himself. So stick around. I assure you'll appreciate part 2, even though he's driving you nuts in part 1. I'll see you in 2 hours.